me go to share. And we're going to go. Here we go. Let's see. Are we there? Yep, we're there. Okay, here we go.
So you wanna be a cool kid, hanging with an inky set, looking real cool and fine, casting you faking it. So you wanna be lonely girl.
I
No
love
lonely
it.
girl. Hi, this is Bonnie D. And
Mary Ann,
here
happy
we are.
Friday.
Happy Friday. It's not the 13th, it's the 27th. We were here. Wasn't I with you this day or was it with another saucy
Yes, we
dame?
were two weeks. Yeah, Friday the
That's
13th, a
right.
special episode.
I created that video for Sherry M, who was my first Too Saucy Dame. That's why this says more because Mary is my second one. And very, very interesting. I thought, gee, I bet Mary would like that. So that is the song, So You Want to Be, that I wrote the lyrics, and Serge Hoffman, with two N's on Hoffman in France, wrote the music, and he sang it for me. And I took some videos, Mary, of the fountain that used to be in the pond behind my house when I lived in Durham, North Carolina. So I thought it would be fun. I'm glad you liked it. How are you,
Yeah, no, that
Mary?
was so much fun. For a wet, rainy Friday, I am doing okay. Just keeping my fingers crossed that we don't get a lot of water. We need it, but I don't,
Yes.
small doses are so much better.
Well,
How about
you and I
you?
are in different parts of Tennessee. I'm in East Tennessee, and it has been raining now for 24 hours. It's steady, it's not strong. I did hear it overnight. We didn't have any boomers and no lightning, thank goodness. Power is steady. Cross fingers, knock on
That's
wood.
right.
Yes.
That's right.
But they are predicting heavy winds for today. So I moved anything that was portable from my front porch and my back deck and hoping that nothing smacks around. But I see some branches off of some small shrubs and trees in the back have already been torn off. So we will see. But anyway, I'm sending hugs to the people in Florida. Apparently 3 million were without power, but they're coming back now. Atlanta is under storm advisory, flooding in a lot of places. I'm not in the path. Mary, how far away from me are you and where you are in Middle Tennessee?
So we're about 3 hours driving. So it's really kind of strange because we're more northern. And so my daughter also lives in Middle Tennessee, but she's more south. She's closer to the Alabama side, and they've got a lot more water than we've gotten so far. So fingers crossed that you know, we get the rain that is much needed because we've been in drought conditions for a while, but that we're not getting deluged.
Yep. Well, I don't know how much our grass and our ground can take. We were in a drought situation or two. The funny thing is that it started raining Wednesday morning, and that's my lawnmower service day. And it rained so much. Sometimes they'll come in between the raindrops. They didn't because the rain got heavier. So the grass
Yes.
is growing like crazy. It is gorgeous. It is green, and now it's too high. But everybody else's is too. So if the homeowners association decides to send their little truck around with the notices, your grass is too tall, you got 5 days, I will say something not very nice to them because, sometimes they're not very
That's
nice
right.
either. I have some breaking news that's sad for the world. The wonderful actress Maggie Smith has passed away. Just got the news. I haven't even done our intro yet, but I'm just going to do a little RIP. She was 89, as my mom Ruth, who lived to 100, would say, too young, too young. Oscar-winning British actress who enchanted audiences in the Harry Potter films and in Downton Abbey. I remember she was the Dowager Countess of Grantham.
Yes.
Oh, was she evil and wonderful and awful and terrific. And she was Professor Minerva McGonagall in the Warner Brothers film series Harry Potter. She was decades in the business. She won Oscars for The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie. I remember that. California Suite. I think that was Neil Simon. And her approval, her portrayal. So R.I.P. Maggie Smith. You certainly made the world a better place. I've always
Definitely.
sad to
Yes,
see
it's
people go. Now I'm going to get back and read our opening because I always do. So you know
all
us on our own.
right.
Bonnie D and Marianne, dynamic
Woo!
personas. And now we're good friends. That's a new line there. In
I love
LinkedIn's
it.
halls and socials embrace, we love to talk tech virtually face to face. That must be an oxymoron. Together on We Dish, we're here to play, lighting up the streaming waves in a fresh, fun way. See, we're having fun. Chatting on culture. We just did movie culture. Tech, wacky news we adore. Music, food, laughter and oh, so much more. No politics here. No, 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 no. Just fun and delight. Watch or listen on demand. Find us day or night. We won't be here at night, but you can find us on demand. That's know what that means. Meet us for real with your questions in tow. Comments are welcome. Just be nice. You know who you are. You know, you know. So tune in, engage, let's laugh and connect on more Two Saucy Dames, our own dialect. Bonnie D and Mary
Woohoo!
and Two Saucy Dames today. Together we'll dish. We have so much to say. So,
I
Mary,
love it.
thank you very, very much. And I have to tell everybody, two is spelled correctly. It's TOO because we're too saucy, as in more than enough saucy. We're too saucy. And somebody approached me for one of my radio shows. She said, I'd like to be one of your dames on TWO Saucy Dames. And I said, no, that's not it.
That's
You
right.
want to be too saucy. And I've got my double rose on, and
I
lavender is
love it. I love it. And see, I
lavender.
was I was going with the kind of red burgundy to match your hair today.
I love it. Yes. Oh, I have burgundy hair. You're absolutely right. There you go.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Okay. So, first question of the day for both of us. I know you're a tea drinker, and I tried decaf coffee the past couple of days, and it did not do well. I just the tiny bit of decaf in it just. And by the way, Sanjay Gupta, the
Hmm.
physician who is a medical consultant on one of the major news stations or whatever you call it, that he said that people who are drinking non-alcoholic beer, you have to check the label because non-alcoholic doesn't mean there's not a 0.1% alcohol in it. It has to say zero
Bro.
alcohol. You have to check the label. So, tea. Marian, are you a purist? Do you have a precise temperature? Do you use bone china? Do you put the water in and have a thermometer go in it? Or are you what the British have been known to call a dusty tea bag dunker? What are your favorite flavors? Mug, cup, or glass?
Oh my
Mary,
goodness.
go
All
ahead.
right. So I am not a precision temperature person. I like really hot tea with really hot water. In terms of am I a dunker or am I tea service, it really depends on the time of the day and what's
Hmm.
going on. So like during the workday, I will typically just be a dunker because I sip tea all throughout the day. But on the weekends or in the evenings, I have my china teapot. I have my loose leaf teas. I have a tea cozy. I will brew up a batch of hibiscus tea or peppermint tea, which technically are not teas because they're not.
Yes.
But I also have loose leaf black teas and white teas. And so when I have the time or I want to relax or I'm looking for something a little bit more formal, I will do more regular tea service. But again, day to day, I'm a dunker. I typically will use my assortment of mugs. I don't really do teacups because they're not big enough. I also like my thermal tumblers, especially in the wintertime, because then I can just keep my tea warm or hot the whole day sitting at my desk. I have a hot water brewing station in my office. I have a hot water brewing station in the kitchen. My son has a hot water brewing station in his office. I have an assortment of I have a tea cart, a three-tiered cart with loose leaf and bag teas. I also have additional flavors in a drawer in the buffet.
I had
And
no idea. Continue. Go ahead.
Eh, so yeah, and it ranges the gamut. I'm not a big fan of matcha. I know that's really popular with a lot of people. Green tea, I can take it or leave it, but I really like robust black tea or white tea, or herbal teas or tisanes. I do not like coffee. I love the smell. I cannot stand the taste. And unfortunately, I do not. Some people are going to go, "Ew, you're just destroying it." I will either use the pink stuff, aka sweet and low. I don't use aspartame or anything like that,
Hmm.
or honey in my tea, or just straight.
Hmm.
But one little packet of sweet and low gets me through the day.
I am completely embarrassed. I am absolutely, I bow to the altar of your tea service. When I posed this quiz, you visited me IRL. We met in real life here, and I
Hmm.
served you. And now I'm ashamed. I
Oh
served you
no.
tea from a peppermint tea bag in a mug with water that was heated in the microwave. Shame on me,
And
but
that's okay.
oh, I didn't mean to insult you. I'm in on. I have some fancy china tea cups. I don't have a silver service, but I have teapots too. But my go-to is I keep a box of peppermint tea and
Yeah.
also Lady Grey.
Hmm.
Okay. And I heat water in a mug in the microwave. And then before the water is at that hot temperature, I put the tea bag into the water, in the
Hmm.
mug, in the microwave, and finish it. But I'm very, very good on sustainability, which didn't come up yet in your comments. What I do is I'll drink, and sometimes I'll put an ice cube in it if it's too hot, and I'll drink it. I'll sip it. Okay, and I don't put anything in it. No, no sweetener, nothing. I like it. No milk, nothing. Okay, I'll tell you a milk and tea story in a second. But I'll get it down to about halfway, and then I will refill it with cold filtered water from the fridge and leave it in the fridge overnight and drink it as a refreshing semi tea beverage the next day or the
Hmm.
next evening. So I keep that tea bag going for quite a while. I've heard that the grounds and the tea bags are good for your plants outside, but
Yes, they are.
I
And
haven't done that.
back when I used to commute to an office, I would start with my thermal mug of hot tea and then leave it in the car. And so in the wintertime, it would go from hot tea to iced tea for the drive home. Um, but when I leave, if I'm making, and this will put a lot of avid drinkers just cringing, I leave the grounds in the teapot because I like a very robust tea when I'm drinking a black tea. So it's just like my tea bag. I leave the tea bag in the mug until I run out of drinking ability. And then I also make iced tea with black tea, sun tea, where you just fill the mug with some tea bags and hot and cold water, and you stick it outside in the sunshine for a whole day and let the sun make the tea.
Oh, nice. Well, I have a tea and milk story. When I was traveling as a 19-year-old going to Europe for the summer and going to many countries, I spent a month in Neuchâtel, Switzerland, staying with a
Oh,
family. I think their name was the Vugas. And I was on a tour with about 8 young women, and we had a tour guide named Mary. I'm sure she's long gone. And at the Vugas, we learned that breakfast was going to be tea, brewed tea, and croissants, and they served them with jam. And I learned if I wanted to have enough energy to go to the university, or I was supposed to be studying French I was a decent French speaker from my classes in New York and in college. So here I was at 19, and I couldn't follow the grammar and the conjugation and anything. Our level of French instruction was nowhere near what they were teaching. So I spent my days by the lake, and I bought a chocolate bar and an orange, and I sat and watched like Neuchâtel and walked around town, and it was lovely. It was fine. But the story is that in the morning, I realized if I wanted to have anything to hold me until lunch, which was an elaborate meal, lunch was the main meal and then dinner was lighter.
mm-hmm.
I had to really go for it with that tea. So I put milk. I don't remember sugar, but I put milk and extended the tea to make more of it, and then had 1 or 2 croissants. I was about 98 pounds at the time. I could have them. Yeah. Today it's, do I really want to do this?
Right.
Maybe, maybe not. Okay. We know where the pounds are going to go. Anyway, I would put milk in the tea and extend it a little bit, and then I would slather the croissant with jelly or jam, whatever was on the table,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a second or third cup of tea. Now, what was interesting was they gave you one cloth napkin for the week because
Oh,
they weren't paid as people who were hosting American students, they weren't paid to do laundry every day. So you had one cloth white napkin on your lap
wow.
at your place at the table for every meal. Well, I learned quickly that when they had blackberry jam
Oops.
for the croissant and you were wiping your mouth, you were going to have a very decorated polka dotty white
Oh my
napkin.
goodness, how funny.
So I learned to dab a little more genteelly on the depending on what the color of the jam was that they had that day, and it was a blast. What an experience! But that was when I was drinking a lot of tea with milk just to make it into a drink that would keep me going
And
until
it's,
lunch. So
well, I
yes,
remember being in Eastern Europe in college on a study abroad, but tea, but then you put the sugar cube in your mouth and then you drink the tea over the sugar cube.
really,
Uh-huh.
don't they do that with a lemon and a margarita or something? Don't they do where they rim the glass with
With
a lemon?
salt. So, but
Salt,
this
salt, sorry,
was, yeah,
salt,
margarita,
yeah,
lime, and salt,
Margaritaville,
but
right, lime and
yes,
salt. How could I get that
but just,
confused?
yeah, I would watch people with the sugar cube in their mouth and then they would drink the tea over it. It was quite interesting. I was never able to really master that because I'm such a klutz. I ended up wearing the hot tea, so it's like, you know what? I'll just go without the sugar. Thank you very much.
I have to tell you, out of the thin air, I picked the topic of tea yesterday and texted it to you and said, let's talk about tea. I had
Yeah.
no idea we would have this many stories about tea. I had no idea. I hope anybody watching or
Here
listening,
we
if they
go. We're
bother saying,
just
Hey, you can send us your oh, by the way, my favorite, I told you my favorites are peppermint or some kind of a mint and the Earl Grey Lady Grey, which is a light and it comes with some of them have lavender flavor in it. That's
Hmm.
for you and interesting flavor. So, oh, that was fun.
Yes, I
Oh,
enjoyed that.
it made my day. As the rain is as my former mother, my late mother-in-law used to say, it's pluing. Yes, okay. So that's French for raining. Let's go to our second. Quick, I was going to skip this topic, but let's go this quickly. Watching TV and movies on a laptop, on a tablet, on a phone, or on a real TV screen in a living room or a den somewhere. What's your preference, Mary?
Generally, I prefer on my phone.
You watch movies on your phone?
Uh-huh.
Seriously, how can you see them? What do you do with the phone? You put it in a holder or what do you
No,
do
I
with it?
just lay on the bed and watch on my phone.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
Sometimes I'll watch on the TV. If I'm watching something on the TV, that usually means I'm crocheting, and so whatever I'm watching helps me keep track of time. But if I just want to watch something, I'll just go up and lay on the bed and watch on my phone.
interesting. I do love TV watching. Instead of reading novels, I watch I used to say just French detective shows, procedurals with very interesting, mostly female lead characters, Candice Renoir, Alice Nevers. But I discovered another one and I have a red velvet couch, of course, and I have a very comfortable blanket I got at a 10, one of those 10 stores, Dollar General.
Mm-hmm.
And it's black and it's a very light almost like a velour with little gold stars on it. It's amazing. It's
Nice.
huge. It's like 8 foot square or something. And I cover myself, put some pillows, and then I have my 55-inch TV. And I have to watch and be engaged because these are, subtitles. Because
Right?
the new show I discovered 2 days ago, which is wonderful, is called Lolita Lobusco, and she is a French assistant superintendent, meaning they call her le juge also. Judge is a lady, is how Alice Nevers, Nevers, is subtitled. But Lolita is a very interesting character with a very interesting family living in the countryside, and her mother is Nunzia, and she wants to date the vegetable farmer Truffaut, and the sister has 2 children, and
Oh, wow.
the detective who joins her, I'm trying to think of his name, is his wife just decided to go back and finish her degree that she abandoned when she married him and had children. She is now a full-time university student. He, this male detective, is doing the cooking, the cleaning, the washing, and he's a cleanliness freak. So if he sees a spot on the stove, he puts on his apron, his gloves, and he'll spend 10 minutes
Oh
taking the
my
spot. So
gosh.
he's furious that his wife is going back to school for a degree in psychology. And it's all about these independent. I skipped season 1 because I just happened to tune into season 2. And there is a season 3 in Europe. Usually takes a year or two to get here, but I'll
Hmm.
probably go back. So it's Lolita Labusco, Lobusco, and she's fascinating, very, very interesting. And she finally agreed for Danilo, her boyfriend, who she can't say I love you to because she just can't get the words out. He moved in with her and then he took a job in Sweden. He's a journalist and he got a great offer and she encouraged him to go. So he's gone. And now somebody she knew as a teenager came back to town. So we'll see what but it's
Uh-huh.
Italian. It's my first Italian series, I
Oh,
think.
very cool.
So I have to watch the subtitle. So I can't be crocheting or reading or anything. So I'm completely enwrapped. There you go. And I just finished Hotel Portofino, which is in English with some Italian subtitles where needed. But there's a tragic ending to season 3. And if they bring season 4, I don't think I'm going to watch anymore. But it's just gorgeous. An English woman opens a hotel for uh, high spending English travelers in Italy. This is 1920s, post World War One, Mussolini era, with a little man in town, and he's a little man who controls everything. What you say, where you do, where you walk, what your business is, whether you get a license, whether you get a ticket, whether you get shot. And it's about this power of this one man and people trying to anyway. Hotel Portofino, interesting. But Lolita Labusco is my show right now. Here we go. Okay,
Aha.
so let's go to yes, and I watch on a big TV. I couldn't possibly see all this on a little screen. I'm going to put. You're going to take share, and you're going to do a couple of art examples for us, Mary. Okay, please.
Yes. So, before I share, I just want to
Yes.
say I had a little conversation with Claude AI to help me come up with a prompt that was depicting a rainy day in Tennessee. Go figure. But there's a reasoning for this. So
Yes.
the prompt was create an atmospheric painting of a rainy day in rural Tennessee. The scene depicts a winding country road cutting through lush rolling hills. The sky is heavy with dark, rain-laden clouds, creating a moody gray light over the landscape. Raindrops streak across the canvas. In the foreground, puddles on the asphalt road reflect the stormy sky. A few cars with headlights navigate the slick road. So, what I
You
wanted
wrote
to
a novel, Mary.
no,
That's
Claude wrote the novel. But what I
okay.
wanted to do was put my night cafe to the test. And so I used the same prompt with multiple
Oh,
engines and models to see how the different models interpreted the prompt. So I was trying to test some things. So this one is clearly not anywhere close to what the prompt was. But then we move, and this one I think was done with Flux, so it's a little
oh,
bit closer.
that looks more realistic to what's happening right here. I love the rain streaks coming into the sky. Very nice.
Then this one, I don't know
Oh,
which engine, I can't remember which engine I created this with, but it seems to
lovely.
have a difficulty picking horses from cars, but it does capture the mood.
Well, wait a
Um,
minute, Mary. Mary, how many
uh-huh.
people call the power in an engine horsepower? There you
That's
go.
true.
There
That's
you go.
true. So
Okay.
this one I really like because I think it captured the rural
Beautiful.
road, the clouds, the rain, the cars.
Love it.
And then this one doesn't have the cars, but this is more of an abstract kind of painting, which I kind
Rain
of like.
slicked. Yes,
And
beautiful.
then this one has the horse and the cars.
Oh,
But I'm really focused now on using the same prompt with different models to see how the results vary because it's much like using some of the softwares that we use for our course creation. People are saying, "Oh, we've got these AI engines that are in there now. It'll make your life easier and stuff." But really putting them through the test, going, "Okay, I want you to recreate the words that I've done. I don't want you to change the words. Can you do what I'm asking? If not, I'm going to stick with, Chat GPT and Claude and some of these other models that I know are trained to what I need. So that's been my art focus right now is using the same prompt with different models to see what the variations are.
can you tell everybody what Claude is, where you find it, and how you use it, please?
Oh, sure. So Claude is another large language model similar to ChatGPT. A lot of folks don't know about it. It's from a company called Anthropic, and you go to
Mhm.
Claude, CLAUDE.ai. Um, And what I've found as a difference between Claude and Chat are Claude is a little bit better with some of the e-learning stuff that I need where yes, I give him personas. Will actually map out in more detail what I'm looking for. I've also really started diving around and playing with, I sound like I'm AI myself now. I'm going to delve into this. Um, Google Gemini to see what
Mhm.
what it's capable of doing. And what I found Gemini really good at is if I need to take video and dissect it and build out a spreadsheet of here's the language, here's what's on screen, here's where it's happening. Gemini is really, really good at doing that.
Very, very interesting. Well, you're certainly deep diving into all of this. I'm much more of a casual user. I'm
Good.
going to show you some of my. I had something in mind to say about one of your comments. It'll come back to me. Okay, let
Sure.
me go to share here, and let's go to screen, and let's go to screen number one. And I'm going to do this kind of clunky here. So let's get my art up here, my art file. Okay, let me see if I can close some of this other stuff so nobody has to see what's going on. Okay, so for Too Saucy, this was here we go. This was done an actual photograph. I hope I didn't show this to you last time. This is a photograph of a butterfly on a butterfly tree or bush behind my house, and I added some filters in Photoshop. This is a very simple filtered treatment to give it what I call, Mary, a kind of a French interpretation, where it's softer and you can see the basically the texture with the little
Yes.
dots were added. And I love this treatment. This is one of my favorites. So I don't have to go back. Let's go to, hold on here. Here we go. Let's go to the second one. This was a closer up, same treatment of the flowers on the butterfly bush with the butterfly. And this enhances, look at these beautiful, rich yellows and blues down here. Also,
Wow.
isn't that pretty? Let me go to the next one. I keep going back to the wrong place here. Hold on. I will get it in a second. Where did my files go? Here we go. Okay, this is an art close-up. I might have shown this to you before. This is one of my acrylic paint pourings with washi tape. You see the little strips of gold here? That's washi tape that you apply. And this is just a close-up photograph. And when I'm done with a bottle of paint, I will just push it, just flip it so that little drips come out. So all these little dots here, I don't know if you can see on my pointer here, all these little dots come out on the canvas and fill in like little stars. That's leftover paint in a bottle. Okay, do you like that?
I like that.
Okay, let me see. Let me get back to my files here. I'm going to leave this open. This was just for fun. I took this and I thought of our chat today. There was a bird sitting on the peak of the roof of the house across the street from me.
Oh, wow.
And he just sat there for the longest time, and I'm across the street, a distance away, and I decided to take a picture. This is the best my iPhone could do at that distance. So let's see what else we got here. This one is interesting. I went into Night Cafe Studio and I designed a couple of butterflies. And
Okay.
then I printed them out. I took the background out. There were trees and flowers, and I printed them out on my usual 8.5 by 11 AV sheet, just a plastic sheet of like paper, but it's clear, see through. And then I ran down to my art studio because the ink dries very quickly, and I slapped it on a piece of 12 by 12 white cardstock. And then it came out like a tracing. I outlined the butterflies in black glitter glue, and I just bought a bag of crushed glass, mirrored glass. So I filled in the shapes of the butterfly with other colors, pink and blue and some green and purple of the glitter glue, which has a gluey texture to it. And then I dropped the pieces of glass onto it so you can see these are mirrored glass, that some of them got colored with the glue and some of them stayed just clear.
That's
Okay.
cool.
Then I outlined here in a light glitter glue, a lighter color. They come in a bottle with a little spout so that you don't just dump it in, you can focus it. And then I bought acrylic paints in small bottles that are metallic. So I took one of the metallic copper color, and up here in the left-hand corner, it looks like it's burnished on copper, doesn't it, Mary? It
It
looks like
does. That's
it,
really cool.
and then in the bottom here, the lower right, I had some purple metallic and I added some of the copper color and blended it with a balloon, a sponge. I used something or just an old paintbrush. And I started blending the colors. And before I knew it, I had what looked like a piece of old copper with the glass enhanced butterflies on top. And I stuck a matting frame around it on the cardstock. So what do you think?
I
Cool beans?
love it. That is so cool. You're so creative.
Well, I'm curious. I'm very curious about this stuff. This I don't think I showed this to you. This was from my windowsill. This is a bird on the windowsill. This is untouched, unretouched.
Oh, wow.
Look at the texture of those feathers. This is not done in Photoshop. This is not done in Night Cafe
This
or
is real.
this is real. This is IRL. This is a bird on the windowsill right here on my office ledge, the ledge outside. And the detail was just, I thought it was absolutely stunning. Let me see if I have any more for you. Let's see, let's see. Oh, this is a neighbor across the street, a renter in this house that they couldn't sell, so they put it
Ah,
back for rent, gave me a hibiscus tree. Now, there was a local nursery that was getting rid of end of summer trees that weren't doing well. This was in a pot, you can see here, and I put it on my
mm-hmm.
porch. It was almost, shall we say, ready to say bye-bye when I got it. It wasn't
Okay.
sad, but it wasn't looking too good. So I started watering it and giving it love, and it has bloomed so far, I'd say over 20 different blooms. And what you're looking at here are real blooms. I took a picture yesterday before I moved it for the storm. I put it into Photoshop late last night. I wanted to play with it. You can see a little bit of some plants in my planter box here. This is my little bird bath fountain outside here in the beyond the railing. And I put in some treatments of filters, and this is what I got. Isn't that pretty?
That is gorgeous.
Thank you. I did that for today. And I have pink yarn. I keep in a little bowl in the
Yes,
garage
no, that makes sense.
when
Keep
I
it
need to
standing
tie
straight.
something. Yes, to keep it straight. Absolutely. So I water this every day. And with the storm, I moved it up to the upper part of the porch so it's out of the wind in case it gets. But you can see the buds. See the buds
Yes.
getting ready? It has dropped probably 20 or 30 blooms that never made it
Wow.
already. and you can see my very green grass here from the rain. So that's all I'm going
Yes,
to share today, but I thought you would enjoy that.
I like
I
that.
have to put my paintings into a PowerPoint one of these days so that they look a little bit better. There you go. So instead of going through files, and I'm sorry about that. I'm still looking at the bird
No.
here. I'm still closing files here. Come on, Bonnie, you can do this. There we go. So we've got some wacky stories you'd like to share, Mary?
Yeah, so I've just got two this time.
Sure.
The first one is how the Mets unveil a new Grimace seat at Citi Field. So Fenway Park has the Ted Williams seat, and Citi Field has the Grimace seat. So our favorite purple character from McDonald's, Grimace, has his own seat at the ballpark, wearing his pear-shaped purple costume and a baseball glove on backwards. Grimace threw out a funny-looking first pitch as best he could with those furry fingers and short arms before New York beat the Miami Marlins on June the 12th. But anyway, they now have a Grimace seat with a special connection to the Mets fans. The seat is located in the second deck in right field, located in row 6, seat 12, to signify June 12th on the calendar. And the character posed next to the chair and with fans who strolled into the room. So, because my first job was at McDonald's, I have an affinity for McDonald's, as many teens do. So I just thought that that was
Oh,
really cool. And Grimace is a much maligned character.
there
So,
you go. Finally got his own seat. He got his due. I'm going to share my first story because it's a visual and I think you'll get a kick out of it. You can now buy seeds that will produce a 900-pound pumpkin, Mary.
oh goodness.
This is from the Mountain Valley Seed Company True Leaf Market, sourced from competition pumpkins that weigh 900 pounds or more for serious competitive pumpkin growers. The seeds come directly from championship pumpkins, and they say you have to make sure that they have the space, the compost, the water, and the sunlight. You should prepare the soil for fall planting, mix in rich compost. They're grown for local, state, and international competitions in North America, and they have spread all over the world. A single plant will grow multiple pumpkins, so you have to wait till it picks a female flower is chosen and pollinated. You pinch off all the other flowers. Once the fruit has set, it will grow fast. It needs an inch of water a week. That's all. And a feeding program. Drain it carefully and it will produce. Yes, it will produce. So here's a picture of a 900-pound, and they're 3 seeds per package for $10.15. I want you to know that, okay? Is that crazy? Mary?
There you go. I just messaged you. My internet went out.
Okay, there you are. You're back. So that's my first story. What's your second one?
All right, so my second one, we're sticking with the theme of mascots. Freddie the Falcon, the Atlanta Falcons mascots, is living up to his name and soaring right into a world record. The high-flying mascot is the current Guinness World Record holder for the highest indoor rope swing drop of over 143 feet. So
Wow, wow, wow.
uh-huh, and there is a short little video clip, but, I think, if you just search for Freddie the Falcon, it's pretty cool watching Freddie climb up into the rafters and then fly down.
I'm happy to watch. I don't even want to emulate. I'm going to share another story here, and this is a visual as well. Celebrities with famous unusual pets. Audrey Hepburn, when she was working on the 1959 adventure romance movie Green Mansions, had to work with a baby deer called Pippin, and she called him Ip. IP. They bonded. She fed the deer from a baby bottle. She shared her bed with it. She took it shopping and to parties. She was devastated when she had to separate, and her husband tracked it down and brought it to her as a pet. So Audrey Hepburn had the deer as a pet. Then we have Josephine Baker, the French dancer. Well, she was an American French dancing and singing sensation in 1920s Paris. First Black woman star in a major movie. Her pet cheetah, Chiquita, wore a diamond collar and during performances leapt into the conductor's pit of the orchestra. Mary, are you
Oh,
liking that?
wow.
And then we have Salvador Dali, who had an ocelot, walked the streets with Babu, his pet ocelot, secured on a leash and a studded collar. He claimed the cat was a gift from the president of Colombia. Can you see that?
I do, yes.
There's the ocelot. Look at that
Wow.
mustache. Yes. So I have one more. Should I go for it?
Sure, let's go for it.
Okay, this is very, very briefly 3,500 of the best. I'll stop sharing here. Well, no, you know what? I'll show you. 3,500 of the worst. See this woman?
Yes.
This is the World Jigsaw Championships held in Valladolid, Spain recently. 3,500 of the puzzlers from across the world, around the world, competed. The competitors had to complete two new 1,000-piece puzzles in less than 3 hours for the team competition, and the individuals had to complete a single 1,000-piece puzzle in less than 2 hours on their own. 30-year-old Kristen Thube from Norway took the #1 title, 37 minutes to complete a 500-piece puzzle of tigers and greenery. What do you
Oh,
think of that?
wow.
What do you think of that?
That is awesome.
Is that something? I didn't know there were World Jigsaw Championships. Did you, Mary?
I did not, but I'm
I
sure
know.
that there's a championship for pretty much everything these days.
I think so. And there's probably a Guinness Book of World Records for everything too. I'm going to go and find the music. So any thoughts before we go, Mary?
Just stay safe out there. It's going to be a weird weather week for many parts of the country, and just go out and make some mischief like the rest of the Saucy Dames.
Okay, just wait for me to get my music up here, and I've got to go to share for music. You know, I need it. And by the way, thank you for recommending Louis Donka to me. And Louis was on my Technology Revolution, The Future of Now show last week with 3 other people who were VAs, virtual assistants. And it was lovely to meet him. And he was very, very savvy. And I appreciated all of his predictions
He
on where we're going. He's a smart cookie, smart
he
guy.
is. He really enjoyed it, except for the fact that it was the middle of the night for him.
I know, I know. Where is he based? In the
He's in the
Philippines?
Philippines.
Okay, let me go and get let me.
Find you hard.
Okay, here we go. We'll just take the music where it is. Can you hear it, Mary?
Yep.
Let me make it a little louder here.
So you wanna be popular.
Thank you, Marianne.
Thank you, Bonnie D.
You stay safe too. Here's the bridge.
For a while.
I auditioned for a rock and roll band as a drummer.
That's right.
So you wanna be
I want to be.
Bye.
We're going to lower it down. Bye bye, all. Hold on. Let me stop. Bye, LinkedIn. Bye, Facebook. Bye.